Let's begin what's trending with reactions trailing comments made by the Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, who has described social media as a terrorist organization following the recent killings in Plateau State, highlighting its role in spreading false information and inciting unrest. The Sultan made the comment during the 7th Executive Committee meeting of the Northern Traditional Rulers Council in Maiduguri, Borno State. The Muslim leader urged security agencies to address the issue of fake news being spread on social media with the seriousness it deserves, akin to other threats to national security. Let's take a look.
His girlfriend cheated on him, bullies humiliated him, but he held on to his mother's promise. Don't reveal your secret to anyone's son.
People don't know what Fulani is, please read books. People don't know what Kanuri, read books. Everything is there. And that's how we thank the government for bringing back history. Some of us try to close the history books as though history does not exist. You can't read history. You can't. What happened has happened, and it's there written. You can't come and through social media. But that's one terrorist organization, social media. Social media is a terrorist organization. What they do, for example, you sit in his comfort room and formulate stories, and you will swear that it's true. So, social media is a terrorist organization that we must deal with. Security agencies must deal with this terrorist organization called social media.
All right, this is a very loaded statement, very heavy. A lot of reactions have trailed it, obviously because, you know, he's talking about social media and users on social media have reacted. Let me take this from Step Up Niger, who wrote, statements like this are worrying and deeply dangerous. Social media is not a terrorist organization. It's a tool, a platform where Nigerians organize, speak up, and hold power to account, especially when traditional systems fall short. The real threat is in social media. It's the leadership vacuum, lack of justice, and broken trust that fuel frustration in the first place. Yes, misinformation should be addressed, but silencing citizens is a slippery slope to authoritarianism, not a solution. We need leaders who solve problems, not suppress voices. Kind of agree with Step Up Nigeria. I'll take this other tweet. This is from Amadu, who wrote, terrorist organization might sound dramatic, but he's not far from the truth when you look at it from a bigger picture. Terrorism isn't just about violence. It is about spreading fear. And in today's world, fear travels fastest through one medium, social media. Radicalization at scale. Extremist groups use social platforms to identify, groom, and recruit individuals through memes, videos, and forums. They normalize extremist views and weaponize ideology. Terrorist acts are often designed for maximum media coverage. Social media multiplies this tenfold, turning local events into global propaganda in minutes. Platforms like Telegram, WhatsApp, and even Twitter DMs become tools for planning, coordination, and private propaganda away from law enforcement scrutiny. Gamification of violence. Some extremist groups treat acts of terror like missions or achievements. Social media becomes the scoreboard, rewarding those who go viral with notoriety and admiration in radical circles. Several attackers have broadcasted violence in real time, knowing platforms will amplify the spectacle. This serves both propaganda and psychological warfare purposes. Social media isn't causing terrorism, but it's become a powerful amplifier, recruiter, and stage for extremist activity. Understanding this is key to disrupting the digital ecosystem of modern terrorism. The role of social media in our contemporary world can't be overlooked. That is a loaded tweet, a lot of dimensions with what he has said. And I do also agree with not everything, in part of everything that he said.
No, I think the lion's share of what he said is actually quite apt.
Yes.
And I think that for a tweet, it almost reads like an article or an essay, really, because he's articulated himself very, very well. And I think that what he has done is really identified the problem with social media. I'm quite accustomed to defending social media because I think it serves a great good. And we've had, even before the explosion of social media, we've always unfortunately had crime, had negative issues, and what we might not have had is a vehicle to make people aware of what is happening in the world. Have people been able to weaponize social media to negatively? Absolutely. So I do think that what he said is correct, but I don't think the solution is to ban it or to end it. It's unfortunately another layer of this evil of terrorism.
Absolutely. Let me take another tweet, Rufai, because I know that you want to buttress your point here. This is from Polonium, who wrote, I think what he wanted to say is that terrorists use social media to showcase their crimes. Don't we see how terrorists and bandits post pictures of them sharing money on TikTok? Perhaps that's what he was referring to. I'm sure he has children and grandchildren who use social media, including WhatsApp. Are they terrorists or committing terror? His media aides should quickly do a PR and clarify his remarks. I think his remarks were quite accurate. I mean, he did say it. He reiterated social media as a terrorist organization. I mean, I think that he meant what he was saying in that video, Rufai.
So, social media is not a terrorist organization. It can't be a terrorist organization because what is it? Like he said, it's a media. It's a medium. A medium is a blank canvas. What you put on that medium matters a great deal. Prior to this time, there's something they call books. Historically, when you go back to the 1500s, one of the first major tools that changed the world was the Gutenberg Bible, printed by Johannes Gutenberg. Because then, it was a big deal reading the Bible and knowing it for yourself. It was when the likes of Martin Luther got a hold of that, he wrote his theatres on Winterburn Gate, and he said, the just shall live by faith. It caused a big liberation in the Christian fold. Then, as printing went of age, people got more information. These are mediums. Then, in the 20s and 30s, Guglielmo Marconi transferred the first radio wave. Then we had radio. That was also used to spread propaganda.
So many different.
What we call traditional form today was used to spread propaganda. In fact, it was said the likes of Father Coughlin spread a lot of anti-Jewish propaganda through the radio. Then in the 50s, the likes of ABS, CBS, and Dumont brought about this new technology called television that has been perfected in the 20s and 30s by the likes of John Longy Bird. It was also used. We had words like the revolution will not be televised. Then DARPA came about. Tim Berners-Lee in 1991, the World Wide Web. All of this platform will be used, but the question is, how is it used? So social media is not the problem. It has also been the force of good. If not for social media, are we going to know about the kid that they were beating yesterday that the governor of Borno saved?
Perfect example, because I also
if
have
not for social
story
media, are we going to know about the inequity and the crisis that is going on? Are we going to be able to reveal police officers that are doing all of what they're doing?
The girls in Ivory Coast.
The guests in Ivory Coast, if not for social media. So it's what you put on it. Traditional media too can be a tool in the hands of terrorists.
Yes.
ISIS had a newspaper called Dabik that they shared.
Find your perfect stay on the Booking.com app. A hotel in the city or...
What can we do? I think the very first thing we should do, the Americans have a cybersecurity force in their armed forces now. We should be able to have a cybersecurity unit that goes ahead, that is part of most social media sites, that debunk most of these lies and bring clarity. The traditional gatekeepers too can also do that work, which we've been doing.
Absolutely.
Fact-checking most of the stories and all of that. Sometimes we will not get it right.
Yes.
Look at the story of the summon. The state came out to debunk it afterwards. Most media are taking it. I even took it. But we can quickly retract and say, okay, this is the state of things and what is happening. Then most importantly, educate people more on most of these videos and all of that.
Yes.
But you saying it is the terrorism, it's just a platform. It cannot be.
Yes.
It's also being used as an agent for good.
Yes.
There are people that their faith was strengthened on social media.
Yes, I think that, the Sultan has spoken well, actually, because it has brought this conversation to bear at this point, to the security agencies. And I think what is important is that the information being shared on social media, like that Twitter user alluded to, is the fact that you can actually use that information to trace these terrorists. We have taken stories, Vimbai, where we have seen, videos of these bandits flaunting money and all of that. There's this geolocation. We can track these people. Without social media, we will not know their whereabouts.
Absolutely. OJ, I think most of the the valid points have been made already. But I think what I want to talk about is how we can restore trust in our leaders.
Yes.
Because when we speak of regulation around social media, it's a taboo. And this is because so much trust has been eroded between leaders and people. So when people, social media users, hear about regulation of the social media space, they already feel that it's an opportunity for politicians to weaponize the space and gag opposition and gag voices that are counter to whatever they stand for. So I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done there in us understanding that regulation is important. Everything is regulated. Television, Rufai took us through the history. If you go through the history, most of the media started very liberal, and then we realized that, oh no, there has to be rules. You know, one of my favorite examples is Mussolini, and how, you know, Mussolini, before he rose to be a dictator, he actually was used to plant stories
He ran a newspaper.
In an attempt to paint the opposition negatively. So regulation doesn't have to be a bad thing. However, it should not be weaponized, and we need to carry people along to ensure that it is fair and just in its implementation.
Well said, Joel. Thank you.